Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to another Tower of Fantasy video, and today we're going to be going through King, the best builds, the best team comps and everything there is to know about him. So after this video you'll know exactly what you should be doing or could be doing with your King and how to play him. So King is an amazing character to break down your shields of the enemies and be your DPS character. He fits into many team comps and can be built from an early stage. When you get more stars and better matrices for him, then he just becomes so much better. But just standard 0-star build with rare matrices, he's good enough. Now talking about the matrices, the best build for the King himself is going to either be his 4-piece King set. I'm not going to always include them in my build videos because it's given using a 4-piece, unless otherwise it's not good at all, but using a 4-piece King is good. Another really nice build is a 2-piece King, 2-piece Shiro set. Otherwise, going into the SR matrices, the best is going to be the 3-piece Sobek matrices. And then obviously for the rare ones it's going to be 3-piece flame damage. Currently on my King, if we have a look here, we go to the matrices, I'm running this 3-piece flame. I've been lucky enough to get this off the standard banner. Going into the stars of King, I can just say it's amazing. Or Scythe of the Crow. The first star, if you are deciding which character to spin it on, I would highly recommend you spin it on King, because increasing the shatter by 15% after shattering the target shield deal burn damage equal to 120% of attack to the target every second for 15 seconds. That is a lot of damage you are going to be dealing after you break a shield or shatter the shield. And not only that, it does increase your shatter by a significant amount. Second star is just a standard, there's not much to say about it. The third star is an incredible buff that will go hand in hand with the 3-piece Sobek Matrix set, which I shall show you guys right now. So I need one more piece of Sobek, then I'll switch it onto King. But the 3-piece increases damage dealt by 6% for each enemy nearby up to 3 stacks. So when you have clumps of enemies, groups of enemies, this is going to be amazing. Okay, star number 4 is again a standard, there's nothing much to say. Star number 5, increased damage dealt against HP shields or shielded enemies by 100%. This is going to be phenomenal, especially when you are taking on world bosses that are solo enemies. This is going to be insane. And if you're lucky enough to get this, then I'm happy for you. Obviously this is going into whale territory, or being extremely lucky or unlucky like myself to only get King pieces, but I'm not gonna complain, it is what it is. 5-star King, very good and well worth it. 6-star King, now this is I would say it's a iffy one. Increased damage dealt by 10% for each enemy slain for 30 seconds. This is definitely not very practical when it comes to defeating world bosses, and for me that is like the biggest challenge I want, is to be able to take on world bosses fast and effectively. Things like the Bygone Phantasm, when you face the bosses as well, not very effective. But when you do come across the intermediate rounds, so round like 1 to 4 after you face a boss, the first 4 rounds, this will be very nice. Getting that damage dealt increase so you can take on the weak enemies, defeat them, stack up, and then deal more damage to the shielded enemies or the bigger enemies, the juicier ones. All in all, getting the stars, I would say definitely try to at least get this first star if you have the opportunity to spend your matrix credits or flame gold in the matrix or in the store to get a copy of a character, an SSR character. Now let's talk about team comps, and I'd like to say he's very versatile. A lot of players do work with him, but what you would definitely going to want to need and want to have is a healer. So for me, this is my favorite King setup, is using Nemesis, King and Samir. I just really like it because Samir offers great charge and DPS resonance. with King, so we're getting an increased attack. As you can see here, equip at least 2 DPS type weapons to activate, increase final damage by 10%, and then in which team play, which is increased by 40%. There's that. And Samir is just great for charging. And then Nemesis for me charges a bit too slow. That is why I want to run Samir as my charge character. Nemesis is also the healer, so whenever I'm dodging out, I'm going to try and do it with Nemesis so that I can provide that healing for my team. But other alternatives for healer would be Coco, Rita, or Zero. They are two really good healers. They also provide a lot of charge, so when you are using that character, you'll be using them to charge up your discharge skills so that you can switch into King. And then if you do run somebody like Zero or Coco, I would rather run someone like Huma or Meryl. Those two characters are both shielded characters. They won't provide the DPS resonance for King, but they will provide very good middle ground between shatter and charge and allow you to have more DPS time on unshielded characters. And then lastly, this is a team comp that I am trying to use, but I don't know if I can get it right. And that would be using somebody like Shiro, or if you don't have Shiro, then it would be the SR character Bai Ling. And that is because of this Grievous effect. So when you apply Grievous by either using the discharge skill on the enemy, or if you have a 5-star Bai Ling, you can just dodge. So you'd be dodging with Bai Ling. Instead of Nemesis, you'd use Zero Coco so that you don't have to be dodging with that character to heal. And then you'd be applying Grievous, which will then buff your damage output by King by 20%. It is quite a tough rotation to do because it requires a discharge of your physical weapons, unless you can use Bai Ling. But for me, Bai Ling being a range character, and the switching out to dodge is not always convenient. And then Shiro is really good crowd control. It's just you need to have both of your discharges available to maximize your damage output. Now, for using King by himself and his attacks, this sneak attack is one of the most overpowered and broken things you can do, especially when you're playing with a party. So when you're playing with a party, what you do is get the enemies to focus on your teammates, and when they are focused on your teammates, you press Z to sneak or crouch, and then you just tap attack, tap a normal attack. You deal a massive amount of damage. As you can see, 570% of attack plus 1256. Now, after you've done that normal attack, if that enemy still hasn't been focused back onto you, you can tap Z twice, because after one attack while you're in crouch mode or sneaking, you have to go out of sneak and then back into sneak to be able to get that sneak attack buff again. That is the only sort of cooldown it has. It doesn't have a cooldown timer like your skill does, and it does a lot more damage than your skill actually does. So it is very underrated at the moment. I'm sure many people catch onto it, but that is how I play King, and he's a really insane character, really fun to use. And yeah, if you did find this video helpful, please don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and comment down below which character you'd perhaps like to see next, or any of your thoughts on King. Until then, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.